Docks Marine opens 7 days a week from 8 to 5. Sales, rental, service, all in one place. It's at Docks Marine, 5803 Eichard Ridge Road.
This is the WHKY News. I'm Ralph Mangum, and it's time for our weekly roundup of some of our top crime stories. This time, we are covering the last 2 weeks. That's September 30th through October 11th. Here we go.
The suspect in this case was stopped by one agency and arrested by another. 57-year-old Dennis Lynn Sharp of Granite Falls was arrested Tuesday in Alexander County by Alexander County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with felony possession of Schedule II controlled substance and misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. Sharp was arrested following a traffic stop. He was initially pulled over by the North Carolina State Highway Patrol. The sheriff's office was called to the scene due to the suspicion that Sharp was in possession of legal drugs. He has previous charges pending in Alexander County for felony breaking and entering, felony larceny, and possession of Schedule IV controlled substance. November 4th is listed as a court date in Taylorsville on the previously filed charges. Following Tuesday's arrest, Sharp was incarcerated in the Alexander County Detention Center with bond set at $11,000. His initial court appearance is scheduled for Monday, September 30th. A Maiden resident is charged with multiple counts of assault. 29-year-old James Holland Helms of Winding Cedar Drive in Maiden was arrested Thursday by Catawba County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury, assault on an individual with a disability, communicating threats, damage to personal property, and possession of marijuana paraphernalia. Probation and parole charged Helms with misdemeanor probation violation. He was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under $40,000 bond with a district court date scheduled for November 12th. 30-year-old Justin Jackson Dunn of Dunn Road in Hickory was arrested Wednesday by probation and parole. He's charged with felony identity theft and misdemeanor probation violation. Dunn was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under $30,000 bond. A district court date is set for October 1st. A Superior Court appearance is scheduled for November 7th.
And a Newton woman jailed in Alexander County for probation violation. 38-year-old Natasha Danielle Steele of Newton was served a warrant Thursday in Alexander County for a felony probation violation and a pair of warrants for traffic-related offenses from Cabarrus County. Her most recent felony conviction was in 2021 in Catawba County for possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. At last report, Steele remained in the Alexander County Detention Center under a $32,000 bond. She has a Superior Court date in Taylorsville coming up on October 7th.
38-year-old Matthew Beebe of Sherrills Ford did not receive prison time after he entered a guilty plea in this case last week. This resulted in a critical response from the Mooresville police chief. On July 28th of last year, information was provided to authorities that an officer allegedly engaged in sexual misconduct with a minor. The investigation led to Beebe's arrest on charges in Iredell and Catawba counties. In August of this year, the Mooresville Police Department was informed that Beebe would be taking a plea on September 24th. That plea would include state prison time. However, on September 23rd, Mooresville police were told that Beebe would be pleading to 2 counts of indecent liberties from Iredell County and 1 count from Catawba County. The sentence would result in probation, sex offender registry, and the surrender of his law enforcement certificate. In a news release, Mooresville Police Department Chief Ron Camperciani issued a statement critical of the prosecution. He said putting a predator like Beebe back on the streets is not only dangerous, but irresponsible. Get much more on this case and read the full quote from the Mooresville Police Chief in this story at our website, WHKY.com. Reporting from Catawba County for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
30-year-old Darche Charmaine Horton of Northwest Arlington Circle in Lenoir was arrested by Lenoir police Monday on a felony count of larceny greater than $1,000. Horton was jailed in the Caldwell County Detention Center with bond set at $10,000 secured. At last report, she remained in custody. A district court appearance was scheduled Tuesday in Lenoir, with additional court dates coming up Wednesday and Thursday on a felony cocaine charge and one count of misdemeanor larceny. Over the next 2 months, Horton will also appear in court in Burke, Alexander, and Catawba counties on a variety of charges.
A guilty plea was entered in this case earlier this year. 36-year-old Rashad Dominic Griggs was sentenced to 70 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release for possession of a firearm by a felon. According to court documents and the sentencing hearing on August 20th of 2022, Hickory police responded to a call for service following reports that Griggs was waving a gun at his girlfriend. Upon arriving at the location, Griggs emerged from the residence and was arrested on warrants that had previously been filed against him. Following a search of the residence, officers found a white powdery substance that was later lab tested and confirmed to be fentanyl. In addition, officers recovered multiple firearms from the residence. During the search, law enforcement found a rifle magazine loaded with 30 rounds of ammunition, a pistol, and multiple rounds of ammunition. During an interview, Griggs acknowledged that he had obtained a pistol approximately 7 to 8 months prior and stated he kept the firearm for protection. On May 16th of this year, Griggs pleaded guilty to 2 counts of possession of a firearm by a felon. He was being held in the Catawba County Detention Facility pending transfer to the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. You can get much more on this case by going to this story at our website, WHKY.com.
A Hudson man was arrested for possession of meth. 39-year-old Ricky Lee Phillips of Hudson was arrested on Wednesday, October 2nd by Lenoir police officers. He was charged with 1 felony count, possession of methamphetamine. Phillips was jailed under $50,000 secured bond. A district court date was scheduled for October 23rd. A Lenoir man is charged with maintaining a vehicle for controlled substance. 64-year-old Gregory Vaughn McCall of Lenoir was arrested on Wednesday, October 2nd by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with felony counts of possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver methamphetamine and maintaining a vehicle or dwelling for controlled substance. McCall was jailed under $50,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. He is scheduled to appear in district court on October 3rd, and a man charged with resisting officers in Caldwell County, 26-year-old Adrian Marquez of Lenoir, was arrested on Wednesday by Lenoir police officers. He was charged with felony malicious conduct by prisoner and misdemeanor counts of resisting, delaying, or obstructing a public officer and intoxicated and disruptive behavior. Marquez was jailed under $20,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A Caldwell County District Court date is scheduled for October 3rd. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
37-year-old Brandon Lee White of 11th Street Southwest in Hickory has been arrested by Hickory police on felony counts of larceny of a motor vehicle and financial card fraud. White was also charged with 2 counts of attempting to obtain property by false pretenses. He was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility Thursday morning without bond. A district court date is coming up on October 7th. The Boone Police Department is investigating a fatal hit-and-run incident that occurred on Saturday, September 28th. The deceased is 48-year-old Terry Turbyfell. At 7:23 p.m. on the 28th, Boone Police and Boone Fire personnel responded to a hit-and-run involving a pedestrian on Deerfield Road at the intersection of Blairmont Drive. Mr. Turbyfell was found at the scene suffering from life-threatening injuries. He was transported to Watauga Medical Center where, after life-saving efforts, he was pronounced deceased. Anyone with information regarding the incident should call Detective Scott Delaney at 828-268-6925 or email scott.delaney@townofboone.net.
An eastern Catawba County resident who was convicted in a case in Lincoln County in 2022 has been charged with failing to register as a sex offender. The suspect was placed in the Catawba County Detention Facility following his arrest. 22-year-old David Jacob Cooper of Mill Drive in Catawba was arrested by Catawba County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with felony failure to register as a sex offender along with misdemeanor counts of resisting a public officer and failed to perform community service hours. Cooper is a sex offender as a result of a conviction in Lincoln County in November of 2022 for sexual battery. Following the arrest, Cooper was placed in the Catawba County Detention Facility Friday morning under a $1,000 bond.
A Lenoir woman was arrested for possession of controlled substance. 32-year-old Brittany Morgan Faust of Lenoir was arrested on Wednesday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. She was charged with felony counts of possession of methamphetamine and possession of Schedule II controlled substance. Faust was jailed under $20,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for October 24th. A man is charged with possession of methamphetamine. 36-year-old Timothy Joseph McCall of Lenoir was arrested on Wednesday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with felony possession of methamphetamine. McCall was jailed under $20,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for October 24th. And a Lenoir woman arrested for methamphetamine possession. 28-year-old Shania Ashley Collins of Lenoir was arrested on Wednesday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. She was charged with felony possession of methamphetamine. Collins was jailed under $15,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. She is scheduled to appear in district court on October 24th. A South Carolina man is charged with trafficking in heroin and meth. 41-year-old Perrin Travis Sullivan of Pacolet, South Carolina, was arrested on Friday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with 2 felony counts each of trafficking in heroin or opium and trafficking in methamphetamine. Sullivan was jailed under $900,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date is scheduled for October 28th. A Lenoir man was arrested for trafficking controlled substance. 39-year-old Ricky Lee Watson of Lenoir was arrested on Friday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with 2 felony counts each of trafficking in heroin or opium and trafficking in methamphetamine. Watson was also charged with 2 misdemeanor probation violations and jailed in the Caldwell County Detention Center under $740,000 secured bond. A district court date was scheduled for October 28th. And a Marion woman charged with intent to sell or deliver controlled substance. 45-year-old Kylie Sherry Hilton of Marion, North Carolina, was arrested on Friday by Lenoir police officers. She was charged with 4 felonies: possession with intent to sell or deliver cocaine, possession with intent to sell or deliver marijuana, possession with intent to sell or deliver controlled substance within 1,000 feet of a school, and maintaining a vehicle or dwelling for controlled substance. She was jailed under $76,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for October 7th.
A Burke County man arrested by authorities here in Catawba County faces charges in multiple counties. In Rowan County, he's charged with failing to report a change of address as a sex offender. The suspect was placed in the Catawba County Detention Facility following his arrest. 59-year-old James Russell Kennard of Willow Ridge Drive in Morganton was arrested Sunday by Maiden Police. He's charged in Rowan County with 2 counts of failure to report a new address as a sex offender and 1 count of communicating threats. He's charged in Catawba County with multiple highway violations, including driving while impaired. Kennard is a sex offender as a result of a conviction on an unspecified charge in Newcastle, Delaware in March of 1999. Following Sunday's arrest, Kennard was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under $9,000 bond. A Catawba County District Court date is scheduled for October 14th. A district court appearance is scheduled in Rowan County October 21st. The incident occurred at a residence south of Morganton on Monday. The suspect was taken into custody in McDowell County. Last night he was brought to the Burke County Jail, where he was incarcerated without bond following the arrest. A court date was scheduled for today. 34-year-old Teddy Justin Rathbone of Black Mountain was arrested Monday by Burke County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with murder. At approximately 11:25 a.m. Monday, the Burke County Sheriff's Office responded to an address on Mountain View Boulevard in Morganton. Burke County EMS initially responded and requested that the Burke County Sheriff's Office respond in reference to a shooting death. Deputies arrived on the scene and found 69-year-old Joel Lynn McNabb of the home deceased from an apparent gunshot wound. Shortly after law enforcement arrived on the scene, Teddy Justin Rathbone was identified as the suspect. The investigation led to warrants being issued on Rathbone for murder. At approximately 5:30 p.m. Monday, the McDowell County Sheriff's Office found Rathbone and took him into custody. Following Monday's arrest, the suspect was placed in the Burke County Jail in Morganton without bond. A district court appearance was scheduled for today. Reporting from Burke County, I'm Rob Eastwood, WHKY News.
24-year-old Nicholas Stone Audia of East Broad Street in Statesville has been arrested by Iredell County Sheriff's officers on one count of felony breaking and entering and misdemeanor contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile. A juvenile suspect was also charged. On September 23rd, deputies responded to a report of suspicious activity on Perth Road, where an individual was seen walking on the property during the night. At that time, deputies were unable to locate anyone. The property owner then requested regular security checks, specifying that no one should be present on the property. At about 1:30 a.m. on the 28th, a sergeant conducting a routine security check at the residence saw a vehicle on the property and could hear noise coming from inside the home. The sergeant and a deputy entered the home and found Nicholas Audia and the juvenile suspect. Following an investigation, a secure custody order was issued for the juvenile, who was already on active probation for breaking and entering. Audia, who was out on bond for other pending charges, was arrested and placed in the Iredell County Detention Center under no bond. The juvenile was placed in the Alexander County Juvenile Detention Center. Audia will appear in district court on October 21st.
We reported on the arrests of these two suspects in Monday's crime report. 39-year-old Ricky Lee Watson of Lenoir and 41-year-old Perrin Travis Sullivan of Pacolet, South Carolina, were arrested last Thursday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. Both suspects are charged with 2 felony counts apiece of trafficking in opium or heroin and trafficking methamphetamine. Thursday at approximately 11:45 p.m., Watson and Sullivan were stopped on Highway 321 in Granite Falls. During the interaction, K9 Poncho of the Caldwell County Sheriff's Office alerted to the odor of narcotics coming from the suspect's vehicle. A search was conducted and officers found approximately 669 grams of methamphetamine and 17 grams of fentanyl. The total street value of the drugs seized during the investigation is $127,300, according to North Carolina state drug guidelines. Both suspects were placed in the Caldwell County Detention Center, Watson under $700,000 bond and Sullivan under $900,000 bond. They are both scheduled to appear in district court in Lenoir October 28th.
A Hudson woman was arrested for maintaining a vehicle or place for controlled substance. 26-year-old Dakota Lynn Burleson of Hudson was arrested on Monday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. Burleson was charged with felony maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place for controlled substance and felony possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver methamphetamine. She was jailed under $100,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for October 14th. And a Morganton man charged with possession of fraudulent ID cards. 45-year-old Harry Jason Gardner of Morganton was arrested on Monday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with 3 felonies: possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver methamphetamine, maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place for controlled substance, and 2 counts of possession of a fraudulent identification card. Gardner was jailed under $50,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for October 14th. A man was charged with trafficking in marijuana. 22-year-old Mustafa Ali of Archdale, North Carolina, was arrested on Tuesday by Lenoir police officers. He was charged with 2 felony counts trafficking in marijuana. Ali was jailed under $950,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. He is scheduled to appear in district court on October 9th. No other details were released. A Lenoir woman was arrested for speeding to elude arrest. 38-year-old Kayla Brianne Serios of Lenoir was arrested on Tuesday by Lenoir police officers. She was charged with felony, speeding to elude arrest with a motor vehicle, and misdemeanor driving while impaired. Serios was jailed under $75,000 secured bond and given a custody release. A district court date is scheduled for October 9th.
We initially reported on the arrests of the 2 suspects charged in this case in our crime report on Tuesday. 45-year-old Harry Jason Gardner and 26-year-old Dakota Lynn Burleson, both of Lenoir, were arrested Monday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. Both suspects are charged with possession with intent to sell and deliver methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Gardner is also charged with 2 counts of possession of fraudulent identification. Monday at 3:50 p.m., a vehicle stop was conducted on a silver Chevrolet Cobalt displaying an expired Tennessee registration plate. The vehicle was stopped after it was seen driving in an unsafe manner on Rocky Road in Lenoir. The driver of the vehicle was identified as Harry Jason Gardner. Gardner is on probation related to a firearm case in Burke County. The vehicle was searched and investigators found 15 grams of methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. During the search, police also found a fraudulent Burke County Sheriff's Office identification badge and a fraudulent UNC Health Blue Ridge identification badge. You have been looking at the items seized by police. Both suspects were incarcerated in the Caldwell County Detention Center following their arrests under $50,000 secured bond apiece. They were both awaiting Wednesday district court dates. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
38-year-old Paul Sullivan of Berkshire Drive in Hickory was arrested by Catawba County Sheriff's officers Monday on 11 counts of third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor and 8 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Sullivan was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under a $310,000 bond. A first appearance in district court was scheduled on October 8th. 57-year-old Joseph Benjamin Costner of Conover was arrested by Newton police on 2 counts of third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Costner was placed in the Catawba County Detention Facility on October 9th without bond. A district court date was set for October 14th.
The suspect in this case was arrested following a foot chase early yesterday morning. Police reportedly seized methamphetamine and fentanyl. The suspect faces felony drug charges. He was also served outstanding warrants from multiple counties. 39-year-old Michael Brandon Bean of Lenoir was arrested Wednesday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with felony counts of possession of Schedule I controlled substance and possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver Schedule II controlled substance. A second suspect in this case was charged with failure to appear on traffic counts. On Wednesday, shortly after 1:30 a.m., deputies found Michael Brandon Bean. He was the passenger in a vehicle that was stopped by police on Union Grove Road near the intersection with Smoky Creek Road. During the stop, Bean provided a false name to deputies. He also attempted to flee on foot from the traffic stop but was captured a short distance away. A search of the suspect and the area covering the foot chase resulted in the discovery of 6 grams of methamphetamine, 2.5 grams of fentanyl, and drug paraphernalia. Bean was also served with multiple outstanding warrants from Probation and Parole, the Granite Falls Police Department, and Catawba County for various charges, including larceny, parole violation, drug, and firearm counts. Bean was placed in the Caldwell County Detention Center following the arrest under $201,000 total bond. He is scheduled to appear in district court in Lenoir on Monday.
44-year-old Marshall Wayne Weathers of Adam Wright Circle in Catawba was arrested October 9th by authorities in Catawba County. He's charged with assault by strangulation, first-degree kidnapping, communicating threats, and resisting a public officer. Weathers was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility without bond. A district court date was set for October 14th. Stephen Charles Patterson of Bristol Avenue in Morganton was arrested by Morganton Public Safety officers on September 27th on charges of discharging a firearm into occupied property, discharging a firearm in the city limits, and driving during revocation. He was arrested in connection with an incident that occurred at about 5:55 p.m. on the 27th when officers responded to a report of shots fired in the downtown area. Initial reports indicated that shots were fired from a yellow Dodge Charger into a blue Ford Mustang. Officers with the Criminal Investigations Division interviewed the victim. The suspect was identified as Stephen Charles Patterson. Patterson was found on Interstate 40 a short time after the alleged shooting. He was taken into custody without incident. Patterson was placed in the Burke County Jail under no bond. He is no longer listed as an inmate. Patterson's next appearance in a Burke County courtroom was set for November 25th. The investigation is ongoing. Additional charges are pending. Anyone with information regarding the incident should call 828-509-3701. And 22-year-old Justin Nicholas Simmons of March Brown Lane in Boone was arrested by Catawba County Sheriff's officers on October 9th on a felony warrant as a fugitive awaiting extradition to another state. Simmons is wanted in Hickory County, South Carolina for possession of a stolen motor vehicle. He was jailed Thursday morning in the Catawba County Detention Facility under an $8,000 bond. A first appearance in district court was set for October 14th in Newton.
A Hudson woman was arrested for failure to return rental property. 41-year-old Jessica Watson Shoup of Hudson was arrested on Thursday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. She was charged with failure to return rental property and a probation violation. Shoup was jailed under $41,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. No court dates were listed. A Lenoir man is charged with probation violation. 59-year-old Ralph Garland Presswood of Lenoir was arrested on Thursday by probation and parole officers. He was charged with felony counts of probation violation and defrauding a drug or alcohol screening. Prestwood was jailed under $30,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. He is scheduled to appear in district court on October 31st.
The suspect was arrested following a traffic stop Wednesday in Troutman. Police reportedly seized methamphetamine and firearms during the stop. 23-year-old Dylan James Shaver of Salisbury was arrested Wednesday by Troutman police officers. He's charged with felony counts of possession of methamphetamine, possess, sell, or buy a gun with an altered serial number, and possession of a stolen firearm. He's also charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of carrying a concealed gun and single misdemeanor counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of marijuana paraphernalia, and possession of marijuana up to 1/2 ounce. On Wednesday at approximately 12:30 a.m., officers conducted a traffic stop of a vehicle driven by Shaver on Talley Street near Ruffin Loop in Troutman. Officers searched the vehicle and found 4.83 grams of methamphetamine and 2 firearms. One of the firearms was found to have been stolen out of Rockwell, North Carolina, according to reports. The other firearm had the serial numbers removed. Following the arrest, Shaver was placed in the Iredell County Detention Center under $15,000 bond. As I file this report, he remains in jail. A district court appearance is scheduled for October 29th. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
56-year-old Darrell Lamont Cornwell of East B Street in Newton has been arrested on charges of habitual breaking and entering a motor vehicle with theft, and injury to real property. Cornwell was jailed October 11th in the Catawba County Detention Facility with bond set at $10,000. An appearance in district court was scheduled for October 14th in Newton. And that's a look back at a few of the top crime stories we had for you from September 30th through October 11th. Our weekly recap is posted every Saturday on our YouTube channel, along with all the rest of the WHKY news. I'm Ralph Mangum, and I thank you for your continued support.